Hello everyone and welcome to the first reading wrap up of the year. It's been January. Wow. This month I think it went like a decent speed. It didn't go too fast, didn't go too slow. Perfect month to get back into reading for the new year. So before we start talking about the specific books I read, I thought I'd go through some statistics. I can't say it. Anyway, so I've made a page in my reading diary which I'll show you in a minute, but I thought let's go through some statistics first because I always get a Storygraph reading wrap up, which I'll put on screen now. It's a little bit of a spoiler for the books that I've read, but I get that and I thought I might do a version of that in my reading diary. So that's what I've done. Put a few pie charts in there and a lot of the statistics. So starting off, we've read 4 books, which is pretty average. Like that's like the most amount I've read ever in a month. So maybe this year we can beat 4, maybe get under 5, fingers crossed. But I have read 2,640 pages, which is the most amount of pages I've ever read, because last year in January I read the most amount of pages I had in the whole year, that being 2,100. So we've beat that, which is very good. So I'm hoping it's not like last year where I read 2,100 pages and never beat that. Fingers crossed I can beat that this year. Oh, bit of a reflection. Also, by the way, sorry for the lighting. It's very dark outside and the light is coming in from this way, but I've got a lamp on here. So without the lamp on, it's dark. So anyway, yeah, that amount of pages is so good. I'm hoping to beat that again. Fingers crossed. But next, I actually did listen to an audiobook this month, and that was 33.18 hours long. I think that gets to like 1,119 minutes, maybe. I might be wrong there. But 33.18 hours, which is pretty good, that being one whole book. And then my average rating has been 4.19 stars, which is pretty good, pretty average, I do say, if I do say so myself. And the genre, 100%, no, not genre, fiction, non-fiction, it's all fiction, 100% fiction, which I am hoping to actually change this year to get a few non-fictions in there, mainly memoirs, maybe some historical fiction that might get into fiction, maybe not non-fiction actually when I say that. But 4 out of the 4 books were fantasy, of course, but one of the fantasies out of the 4 was mainly a romantasy, so it 1 out of 4 romance as well. But getting on to another statistic, I've got a little pie chart here. Don't know how well you'll be able to see this. If you can see that, the one at the top there, it's got half of it print and then half of a half, I don't know what you'd say that be, digital, and then the other half of the half audio. So I might colour that in to make it a bit more vibrant, as you can see, because I've made everything else colourful. But I'll put up a picture on the screen of this whole page so you can see. So 50% print, 25% digital and 25% audio. That is a really, really good variety, I think, because I don't remember. Oh no, I do. I was going to say I don't remember what I read on digital, but we'll get to that. And then also I've got another pie chart here that is page number. I'll put it on screen, of course, but 75% 500 plus and then 25% less than 300, which is very good when you think about 3 of the books, 500 plus pages. Beautiful. But now, finally, onto the books I read. I do have one more statistic, but I'll share that at the end because that's not really relevant to the reading. It's just more books wise. But yeah, to start off the month, I finished the tandem read. I finished Empire of Storms first, so that's what we're going to talk about first. Here's the cover. I read it at 4.25, and spoiler alert, it is my favourite one out of the tandem read. So if you didn't know, you'll see next week about my Throne of Glass Part 2 reading vlog. That'll be next week. But tandem read is when you read two books at the same time, and you just go back and forth with certain chapters. I got a whole spreadsheet for that, and I did tab the books for that, so I knew when to change. But yeah, Empire of Storms was my favourite one of the two, because obviously it was the main focus on Aelin and the gang, but Tower of Dawn had a bit of that focus, but a bit of another focus, which I still liked. It just wasn't preferred. But now on to Tower of Dawn. I rated that one a 4 out of 5 stars. Here's the cover again. But as I say, this one wasn't mainly focused on Aelin. It was mainly focused on Cole and Yeren, which I do like their romance, but I preferred the main plot line. But yeah, it was still a good book. And yeah, I don't really want to say too much more, because obviously this is near the end of end of the series in general, so I don't really want to give too many spoilers away, but that were the main focuses on there. But yeah, amazing. And then finally in the series, I finished off Kingdom of Ash, the last book. I did listen to this one, so that was my 25% audio, and obviously Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn were my 50% print for the month. But yeah, Kingdom of Ash, I listened to it and read it at the same time, but mainly listened. You'll see in the reading vlog that I did do other things sometimes. I didn't always read along with it. But I rated this a 5-star. It was a very good finish for the series. And at like the 100 pages left, I'll spoil this for the vlog, but I thought, is this going to go any better? Because I thought, oh no, this is going to go so wrong. How is this going to get better? But it did. That's all I'll say about that, because obviously it's the last book in an 8-book series. But if you do like fantasy and you haven't read Throne of Glass, I really recommend going to do that. But yeah, finished that off, and that was the main amount of pages. But I also read, as I said, there's a book that's less than 300 pages, and that is 6 Scorched Roses. Bit of a mouthful there, but here's the cover. It was like 200 pages by Carissa Broadbent, and I wanted to read this little novella because I'm now reading the second Serpent of the Wings of Night book, Crowns of Anaxia book, whatever you want to call the series, Crowns of Anaxia. I'm currently reading that, but I wanted to get that off my physical TBR, the second book, so I thought I had to read 1.5 before going, because obviously I think the characters are in it, so that's what I've done. I rated the book a 3.5 stars. It was a pretty good book. I liked the characters, but I don't think I could have made it any higher for it being only a novella. I don't know, that's just me. But yeah, pretty good month. Them books together averages out to 1.19 stars. But yeah, lovely month, if I do say so myself. But yeah, I'm actually very happy with the format of my reading diary so far. I know it's not really very relevant, but it is good for the wrap-ups to have all the information on here. But another thing I did want to mention as well is that I did break my book buying ban. I have got, if you've seen my other videos, I've got a book buying ban thing here. I haven't updated it. Oh god, all the pages. Haven't updated it. But I did buy 2 books on the last day of the month, which, when you think about it, I have read 4, so buying 2 isn't as bad as I think it should be. But them books, one of them was The Crimson Moth. It finally came out in paperback, so I wanted to buy it. And then the second book was Valor, which by John Gwynne, which is the second Malice book, and that was only $3.99 in TK Maxx, so I had to do that. But yeah, I did break my book buying ban, but I think it's pretty fine. I knew I wanted to buy Crimson Moth ever since I found out it was in paperback, and then Valor, I don't know, I wanted to buy it because it was only $3.99, and I have got the first one, and I do want to read that pretty soon, whether it's February or March. I do want to get onto that. But yeah, that is the reading wrap up over. I must say, as I did say a minute ago, I really love this little format on my reading diary. and it's very good. I just can't help but keep looking at it because it's my mini version of what I get on Storygraph pretty much. Just with a few more details about books I've bought and the ratings of all of the books like that. But yeah, as I say, very successful month, and I do hope to keep going, getting better, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to stick with this being the best month of the year like last year. I do hope to either keep this up, keep the average up with the 2,600 pages, or increase it. That is the goal. But yeah, thanks so much for watching the first reading wrap up of the year. I have got all of the wrap ups from last year in a playlist on the channel. I made that a few months into making that. So if you want to go back and watch all of the wrap ups from last year to see what I read, but also you can check out the 2024 wrap up where you can see all of them in one video. But yes, that is it for this reading wrap up, and yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out my Storygraph, Instagram, and my TikTok, linked down below. I am trying to get more consistent on reels and shorts as well on here, and TikTok. I'm trying to get a bit more consistent, so if you have any ideas for them videos, let me know. I am thinking of doing what I read in a week sort of videos. How many pages by that. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.